Viewers like you make this program possible. Support your local PBS station.
In this episode of The Mind of a Chef, Chef Edward Lee is in New York to discuss how growing up in the rich cultural diversity of Canarsie, Brooklyn, shaped his approach to cooking.
I used to be in love with diner culture. I wanted to be a part of it somehow.
Hangs in the kitchen with New York chefs Ivan Orkin and Alex Stupak.
What's most important for me is the technique.
I make all kinds of things with ketchup just because I want to eat ketchup.
Cooks the Korean classic tteokbokki with his mom.
Are you proud of me?
Oh, yes, of course.
And explains how painting subway trains is like cooking in a kitchen.
You have a tag. It's your one signature mark.
Enter The Mind of a Chef.
All curious chefs are just fascinated by their surroundings. Well, that is intense. They don't teach you this in cooking school. I didn't even grow up Korean, really. I mean, I probably knew as much about Jamaican food as I did about Korean food. Most Koreans, when you move to America, you move to Flushing. My parents were weird in that they said, no, we moved here for a reason. We want you to grow up American. So instead, they moved into a neighborhood with 40 other different immigrant groups. So this is the neighborhood I grew up in, kind of Canarsie, Rockaway, part of Brooklyn. I don't know what was so appealing about this neighborhood that my parents decided to move here. But what it did was it gave me this incredible exposure to all these different cuisines and people that I never would have had. Looking at these, like plantains and sugarcane, stuff like that was normal to me, and it wasn't part of my culture. I grew up with a lot of different people. My friends growing up were like a meeting of the UN kids, because it was just all different races. Every household had its own tradition that stretched back generations, but from another country. Everyone had their own universe that they came from. Thinking back on it now is really important for me. So we're gonna do tteokbokki today. This is one of my favorite things to eat growing up. So this is what?
Rice cake, pork, fish cake, onion, green pepper, and mushroom.
Okay. You do realize, Amma, that this color doesn't exist in nature, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. How's that?
Good.
Good?
Sometimes you don't have this ingredient. Whenever you have is refrigerate, everything put in the
It's like leftover tteokbokki. Remember when I was younger, everyone was afraid that I was going to become a cook, remember?
Who?
You. You and
yes.
Appa and everyone said, oh no, you're going to become a cook. And then you thought I was going to be poor for my whole life. Now look at me. Are you proud of me?
Oh yes, of course. Everybody, whole my family.
Really?
They say, oh, you are very lucky.
Now they're jealous, right?
Yeah, they're jealous. More smaller.
More
similar.
small, okay. How about that?
Yeah, it's good. Kimchi.
Is that my name on there?
Yeah, Eddie.
That's not how you spell my name.
I always confuse.
Okay.
First time, E-D-D-Y. My daughter said, no, mommy, it's not Y. So she said I-E, and then I forgot
But
E.
here's the thing.
Doesn't matter.
You named me, right?
Yeah. No, I give to name Edward, not Eddie.
Oh.
So I'm confused.
You can call me whatever you want. You're my mother. You can call me whatever you want. You know what I learned from you, Amma? I learned how to be bossy. Do you know that?
You learned from me?
Do you know the word bossy?
What do you mean bossy?
Like telling people what to do.
Yes.
I learned that from you. Everything?
Everything.
Okay.
Put in now it's a 6 spoons.
6 spoons.
Yeah.
Of gochujang. The fermented chili paste, right?
Yes.
All right, 6. It's good.
Finish.
Finished?
Yes.
Okay. I gotta say, this is really, really looking good. It smells fantastic. I can't wait to dig into this. You did a good job. I have a surprise for you. Taste that. You know what that is? It's pork skin. It's good, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I knew it.
Pork skin.
But it's fried, and then we grind it into a powder. But I'm gonna put it on top of here. What do you think?
It's more calorie. It's
More-
almost no calorie.
Oh no,
Wait.
Oh, I didn't know we're cooking health food now.
The health food.
Oh, this
If you
is
put
health-
in
this is health food.
Maybe 200 something like that. If you do this, it's 480. Doesn't matter.
This is like my Korean food with southern pork rice. Are you good, huh? Thank you, mommy.
Okay.
This is very nice. I think my mom living in Korea was probably a very sheepish woman, and I think New York changed her and made her tough. That's what I get from her. And I think, you know, you can't grow up in a place like this and sort of be docile. When you are surrounded by all these different ethnicities and all these different cultures, you really have to stake a place for yourself. If you were not going to be crushed by the weight of all the people hustling their way to the top, you had to sort of stand up and you know, push your elbows aside. You do whatever it takes to get ahead. And I think the restaurant business is like that. I don't care if you're doing high-end food or a fast food shop. Every day is a struggle. Every day is a hustle. Brooklyn back then was rough. It was poor, very working class. Then there was Manhattan. And Manhattan was the dream. It was the magic. It was everything you ever wanted. So this is where you grew up? This is what you, I mean, I know
My parents used to live right down the block, so I'd amble in here for breakfast often. My quintessential food, if I had to choose one, sushi is the thing I'd eat if I was going to be dying. But after sushi, it's a turkey club.
Ivan is a chef from Long Island who went out to Tokyo and created an empire based on ramen and did it as a New York Jew. And became pretty much a celebrity in Tokyo, and has now returned, come back to New York, create another small empire.
Ivan, introduce me to what you're gonna do.
It's so challenging to offer people solid vegetable dishes. So I said, why don't we make a vegetarian chili? And they were like, well, let's get some. And then we grabbed the white onion, we chopped it all up, and we sprinkled it over, and it was like total like a Coney Island hot dog. So we're gonna take basic creminis, and we're gonna make sort of a chop here. Let's get some ginger and garlic. I'm gonna add my chopped up mushroom stuff.
What is that?
That's mirin, which is sweetened rice wine, and sake. I'm gonna add some of this juice from the pickled garlic that I make.
This garlic is pickled in here?
It's pickled in there with a little smoked fish product and sugar and vinegar and soy, and
It's really good. I could drink this.
It's drinkable.
Get this out of the
Blonde miso. Good old-fashioned Heinz ketchup.
Oh, so you're putting ketchup in here?
I make all kinds of things with ketchup just because I want to eat ketchup.
Yeah.
And I spend my whole life thinking of more ways to pour ketchup on things. And I'm not ashamed. Once we're gonna pour a little of that juice in there. Throw in some beach mushrooms, just a nice handful.
Is that a nice handful?
Yeah, it's a nice handful. Stir that around, and then we're gonna grab some tofu.
What do you want? You want
Just nice cubes.
What do nice cubes mean? Is it an inch and a half? An inch and a quarter? Half an inch? What's a nice
When I say nice cube, you don't that didn't just pop into your mind right there. Yep.
That's
yep.
a nice cube.
That's a
All right.
nice cube, and then you'll cut that in threes.
This way in threes.
Yeah, that threes, and then down the.
I had it.
You were right. See, you got nice cubes. Nice. And we're gonna add these Let's take our cornstarch.
This is for a crust?
Yeah, this will give a little bit of a nice crust on the outside of the tofu. We're just gonna use this fryer. Let these guys cook up. I think that any good chef builds a taste memory.
Yeah.
And every time you eat something that inspires you, it goes into that place. And when you're thinking about a new dish, you taste those things in your mind and you can see how they would fit in your dish. And then when you cook that food, it comes out of all those experiences and then it just becomes who you are. You know, I'm Ivan Ramen. I make Ivan Ramen food. I've never said that I'm a ramen expert necessarily. I'm an Ivan Ramen expert because it's my shop. You know?
Your whole life is just about building reference points.
Right.
And that's it. And then at some point you go, well, let me take all those reference points, combine them,
Right.
and you know, see what comes out of my fingers.
When you look at the final dish, it feels like something you'd eat in Coney Island.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Long Island, so.
It's funny. So you're an island guy.
I'm an island guy.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Coney Island.
Yeah, yeah.
Japan Island.
Yeah, that's right. That's weird. So we're gonna take this and
And don't get fancy with me on this. Do you have a tweezer in your back pocket?
I have I've never used a tweezer to put food on a plate. I'm gonna put our chili stuff all around. We're gonna sprinkle some onions on there. And then I have a little scallions. Of course, we're gonna take our.
So you're gonna put French's mustard on?
I am.
Why French's?
You can't say why French's.
Why not?
What do you mean? It's like the standard thing that sits on the counter when you get a hot dog. It's got to be yellow. It's got to be tart. Mustard can be really sophisticated, but the French's is very simple. Give a little color here, and that's your tofu Coney Island.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
For me, it's not so much the cuisine as this type of eating. This like old sort of New York style, whether it's a diner or a Jewish deli, and how it's just kind of going away. And this feels like home to me. You know, even it's not even my home or my culture, but it feels like home to me.
It's very comforting.
It is.
It's really comforting food.
This is my quintessential New York dish. My sort of New York growing up was a Greek diner, right? And I used to work in a lot of them growing up. Every day during shift meal, I'd have a BLT.
Right.
That was my groove. The first problem of a BLT is that you use strips of bacon, right?
Right.
And so you end up taking a bite and you eat the whole strip of BLT because it comes out of your sandwich.
Right.
I love the flavors of a BLT, but how do you make it so that you're gonna get an equal portion of bacon at every bite along the way? So I decided to make a schmear
A schmear.
of bacon.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna cut this up and then start sauteing it.
That is really beautiful bacon.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw some onions in there. What's gonna happen is that as that onion sautés, it's gonna soak up all that bacon fat.
Nice.
And I don't really wanna crisp the bacon either, because I'm gonna puree all this stuff, so.
Be more like a rillette.
Yeah. These are just sun-dried tomatoes. So again, this is the BLT sandwich. So
Sure.
you got your bacon, this is your tomato.
Okay.
This is just a little red wine. This is Dijon mustard.
Right.
I'm not as Coney Island as you, so I use the Dijon.
Right.
But I like the spice in here. And I've got some sherry vinegar. I'm gonna just throw like, 2 squirts. And again, I'm just gonna keep going with that till that liquid sort of evaporates, just real slow. All right, I'm gonna leave that alone now for a little bit. I'm gonna chop up a couple of scallions, maybe like 3 scallions. The one thing I don't put into this sandwich is the lettuce. We thought that it'd be fun to do something with the letter L in it, because after all, it's a BLT. So the L in the BLT stands for liver.
Uh-huh.
We actually use a little bit of foie gras. Perfect. So I'm gonna take a little black pepper,
Okay.
good chunk of black pepper, and the scallions. Pop that in there. And if you want to now get the machine running,
Okay.
and I'm just going to drop the foie as we go. And basically the foie is just going to sort of emulsify everything together. I'm almost using it like you would butter.
Yeah.
Very expensive butter.
Very expensive butter.
All right, I'm just going to transfer it into a cold bowl. It's really important to kind of cool it down because you don't want that foie to melt. I don't know if I used to be in love with like diner culture.
Right.
And all the language they used to have. Sure. And the cooks and the waiters, they all had a secret language and a code that they talked to. Yeah. I always knew that I wanted to sort of be a part of it somehow.
Yeah.
This is Gruyere cheese. So it's kind of like a BLT meets a grilled cheese sandwich. This stuff's cooled down now. and it's almost like Play-Doh.
Right.
So you can sort of just build it and just press it right on there. It's kind of fun to make. It shouldn't take that long just to get a little color on each side.
Okay.
Warm up the middle. When we started doing it, we had all these fancy breads that we used.
Right.
We did it once and we didn't have any bread, so we had some leftover boule. And it was just really stale and hard, and it turned out it worked perfectly.
Right.
So we actually now buy bread in advance and just like unwrap it and leave it in our walk-in to get stale for like 3 days. That's nice. And that's it. BLT sandwich. I'm always attracted to things that are vastly different from me, things that are outside of my comfort zone. So I was 13, and there was a kid in school named Eric. He was a graffiti artist. So of course the other kids were scared of him and they stayed away from him. I was drawn to him. For some reason, he took to me, and so I became his kind of lookout. The first time I put up a tag, it was like one night he just threw me a can and was like, put up a tag. I was like so nervous, I didn't know what to write. So I wrote Eddie, and he laughed. Like, you can't put your name up. That's the whole point. For a kid in Brooklyn, you put up a tag on a train, that train is going out to Manhattan. That train is going all the way to the Upper West Side and maybe up to the Bronx. It's an amazing thing to think about for a little kid, to say, if I put something on here, hundreds, maybe thousands of people are gonna see it. It's a very powerful thing. Even if it's 1 week on a subway, I want to yell my name at the top of my lungs and have someone notice me. Many years later, I look back on it and I find a very similar thing with cuisine. That tag, it's your one signature mark. It's the same line, it's the same diagonal, it's round and you fill it in. But it's never the same because there's the human element involved. I make the same dish every night, it's the same recipe. But every day is going to be a little bit different. The tags will evolve over time. But you never have a record of what you did 6 months ago to compare it against. It's just gone. The only thing that's left is what's in your head. There's something so beautiful about that, and yet so crushingly tragic. Of all the things you could have done, why Mexican food?
For me, it was really just about new. If we're doing Mexican cooking in New York City, it's like, well, why can't I make a tamal with schmaltz? Or why can't I put pastrami on a taco? Like, let's start to identify things that are truly New York City and then inject those into it. And it's always going to be something new. So I think that's really exciting.
Alex Stupak is from Boston originally, then became the pastry chef at Alinea. From there, went to New York to do something completely different. He's cooking Mexican cuisine and just kind of reinterpreting it through fresh eyes.
New York City is very much, I think, a shrimp cocktail city. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a play on a tostada. All we've done is made a shrimp cocktail. Yeah. It's just instead of cocktail sauce, we used a salsa. Yeah. So we're going to do something with masa. Masa is arguably the most important ingredient in Mexican cooking. It's what's used for making tortillas and tamales. As a background in pastry, I still think of it as a dough. And I think there's some interesting things you can do with both texturally and in form. We're gonna form the crispy tortilla component in a new way. What we're gonna begin to do is kind of mimic the technique of making tamales. The first thing you do is take lard and you paddle it so it's light and fluffy.
Right.
Usually you use like a chicken stock or something like that. In our case, we're using water. And we're adding a little bit of xanthan gum to that water. It gives us a little structure. It makes the finished product a little stronger, allows it to hold up with what we're going to do with it. So we're just kind of softening our masa in the lard, breaking it up. A little bit of flour, and that's just for structure. And then, so you can see, super thick, and it's gonna make something almost the consistency of a waffle batter. So we're just gonna spread this in a thin sheet. If you had removed the flour and you'd use chicken broth instead of water and 86 xanthan gum, you have a tamal. You could just put that in corn husk and steam it.
So what's crazy is you're taking like thousands of years of culinary history from Mexican cuisine, turning it into something totally new.
When it came time to open my own restaurant, I knew that if I had continued to to do what everyone thought I was going to do,
Right.
I think I would have gotten lazy. So by opening something completely different, you're actually forcing yourself to grow. Now we're gonna bake it. 300-degree oven for about 5 minutes. So it's kind of just set.
Yeah.
It's still pliable, it's kind of like a crepe.
Yeah.
So we can cut this in any shape we want. We're just gonna slice it. So what we're going to do, I got a cookie sheet and we took copper pipes and actually screwed them into
Right.
it. Now we have this nice crepe-like texture, but we're gonna make it crispy. And we're gonna give it an interesting form. And we're gonna borrow this idea from Michel Bras. So we have them like this.
Beautiful.
We're just gonna go back in the oven for about another 10 minutes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, just holds its form into a wave.
And you're gonna fill these with something?
I think you got to now. You went through all that trouble.
Let's do it.
This is a mousse made out of sea urchin, mixed with a spicy salsa with some chipotle in it.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna pipe that in there. What's most important for me is the technique. If it's a technique that allows you to apply new flavors to it, I think that's super liberating. So we get this interesting form, and now we can kind of, rather than just have our shrimp lie flat on the plate, the whole thing can visually become a little bit more interesting. These shrimp were just poached in a garlic oil. It's called mojo de ajo in Mexico, bath of garlic. So this is a salsa made from tomatillos and a little bit of chipotle.
What's crazy is this looks nothing like Mexican food, but it's smelling exactly like Mexican food.
Raw onion, super important. Got a little bit of queso fresco here too. We got a little bit of jalapeno and a little bit of radish. And then the last thing, we just got some really beautiful hydroponic lettuces.
This is beautiful, man.
Thank you.
New York is the original melting pot. So I think whenever you talk about someone who's going to do a cuisine that is not Americana, New Yorkers have a sensitivity and a history and a flavor for it. More so, I think, than any other city in the world. For me, New York was a place of possibility. It's a place where someone with a crazy idea could go out there and succeed. So long as he or she was crazy enough to do it, and do it with enough courage and pluck. I think New York is a place that not only embraces change, but expects it. They don't mind controversy. I mean, that's New York. You can do whatever you want.